Before the whispers of the spirits, the village lay in peace, wrapped in the rhythm of its river, the lifeline of all who dwelled there. The villagers lived simply, their days shaped by the water's flow, fishing at dawn, farming by midday, and gathering by the fire at night. Among them was a young woman with eyes that often seemed lost in thought, as though she could hear voices others could not. Her grandmother often warned her never to wander too far at dusk, for the spirit stirred when the sun kissed the horizon. But the young woman's curiosity was a fire that could not be smothered, for she often felt that the river called her name. The villagers respected the water deeply, for they believed it belonged to Mammy Wata, the spirit mother of abundance and mystery. Every season, they held festivals to honor her, dancing to drums that echoed into the night, believing it kept her blessings near. But whispers began to drift through the village, strange sightings by the river, shadows beneath the water, voices in the wind. Fishermen claimed their nets were being pulled by unseen hands, and some returned trembling, unwilling to enter the water again. Children said they heard songs where no one stood, soft melodies that vanished when the elders approached. One evening, the young woman wandered alone, drawn by an urge she could not resist, though the sky darkened with warning. The water shimmered unnaturally, glowing with a faint light as though it wished to reveal a secret hidden beneath. As she bent to touch the surface, the wind hushed, and the night fell into an eerie silence. The surface broke, not with fish or current, but with a face, beautiful and terrifying, neither fully human nor spirit. The young woman froze as the voice whispered, soft yet commanding, carrying both comfort and dread. The spirit told her she had been chosen, for within her lay the gift of listening when spirits whisper. But with the gift came a burden, to carry secrets mortals could not bear, and to guard the balance between water and land. The villagers noticed changes in her. She spoke less, dreamed more, and often woke trembling from voices none could hear. Her grandmother knew the signs. Mammy Wata had chosen her, just as she had once chosen others long forgotten. But the gift was dangerous, for it could bring both blessings and curses, depending on how it was carried. At dawn, the young woman walked to the river again, compelled by whispers only she could hear. The water greeted her with ripples, though no stone had been thrown and no breeze disturbed its surface. She dipped her hands, and for a moment, voices surged through her veins, like an ancient choir singing within her. The sensation overwhelmed her, and she collapsed onto the soft earth, trembling as if struck by unseen thunder. When she awoke, she found a seashell beside her, perfectly white, though no sea lay anywhere near the village. She hid the shell, afraid of what the villagers might say if they knew the spirits had marked her. Yet the gift could not be hidden. By night, her voice began to echo with tones that weren't her own. Her grandmother wept quietly, knowing the child was now both blessed and cursed, bound forever to Mammy Wata's whispers. Villagers soon noticed strange wonders. Wells never ran dry, and fish leapt willingly into nets whenever she passed the river. They began to fear and revere her, whispering that the river's mother had made her a vessel of power. At night, she dreamt of endless waters, with creatures swimming in circles around her, their eyes glowing like lanterns. Mammy Wata appeared again in her dream, her voice like waves crashing yet soft as lullabies. "You must guard this gift," the spirit warned. "For those who seek power will come for it." The young woman woke in tears, clutching the hidden shell, its glow now brighter than ever. One evening, a traveler entered the village, his eyes too curious, his smile too sharp. He asked too many questions about the river, about the girl who wandered there, about strange blessings of late. The grandmother sensed danger, warning her granddaughter to stay away from him, for greed often wore friendly faces. But the man watched her still, lurking near the river, waiting for a moment to confront her. The spirits whispered louder now, their voices urging her to protect the shell, for it held more than it seemed. At midnight, the river rose higher than usual, waves lapping at the huts as though Mammy Wata herself stirred in anger. The young woman walked out in the storm, hearing voices that led her to the water's edge. From the depths, Mammy Wata appeared again, her eyes burning brighter than fireflies in the night. "You must choose," the spirit whispered, "to keep the gift hidden or to bear its weight openly." The young woman hesitated, fear clashing with duty, as thunder cracked above her head. The traveler appeared from behind the trees, shouting for her to give him the shell. The river surged violently, striking him back with a force unseen, throwing him onto the muddy ground. The villagers awoke to the chaos, gathering by the riverbank, whispering prayers into the storm. The young woman lifted the shell above her head, and the storm's fury began to bend around her. Mammy Wata's voice rose like thunder, declaring that the chosen one would carry her secret gift forever. The storm ended suddenly, leaving silence behind. The young woman collapsed to her knees, the shell pulsing gently in her hand. The villagers approached her slowly, fear and reverence battling in their eyes as they saw the glowing shell. The grandmother pushed through the crowd, her frail body trembling, yet her voice firm as she called out to her granddaughter. The young woman could barely speak, her lips trembling, but the villagers saw the glow in her eyes, Mammy Wata's mark. The traveler tried to rise, mud clinging to his agbada, fury blazing in his eyes as he spat curses at the river. But the villagers dragged him away, shouting that no greedy heart must come near the water again. That night, the young woman lay weak in her hut, the shell glowing faintly beside her as if keeping watch. In her dreams, Mammy Wata came once more, her beauty both radiant and terrifying, eyes shimmering like river pearls. "You must protect the balance," the spirit said. "The shell holds not wealth, but the power to hear the unseen." The young woman asked why she was chosen, her voice trembling, but the spirit only smiled, fading into mist. When she awoke, she found the grandmother praying at the shrine, whispering for strength and protection. The village soon noticed her presence brought calm, infants stopped crying when she entered, and sick people felt sudden ease. But this blessing drew envy, and whispers spread that her gift would bring more danger than peace. The young woman carried the shell everywhere, hidden in her wrapper, feeling its warmth pulse against her skin. One evening, the traveler returned with strangers, men from faraway towns, their eyes sharp with greed. They demanded the shell, claiming it belonged to no mortal but should be sold for wealth and power. The villagers refused, standing in defense of the young woman, though fear gripped their voices. That night, she sat by the river alone, her tears mixing with the water as she begged Mammy Wata for guidance. The spirit whispered, "The shell is not yours to keep, but yours to guard, until the world is ready." The grandmother overheard the whispers and warned her, "Child, if they take the shell, they will take your soul." The young woman's heart grew heavy, torn between duty to her people and fear of losing herself. The strangers returned at dawn, this time armed, determined to seize the gift no matter the cost. The villagers gathered in defiance, their chants rising like drums, but their fear was as strong as their courage. The young woman stepped forward, clutching the shell to her chest, her voice steady despite trembling hands. "Take me, not the shell," she said, offering herself as a shield for the gift. But the river roared suddenly, waves rising higher than huts, thundering like 1,000 drums. From the water, Mammy Wata emerged larger than before, her voice shaking the very ground. "Those who seek greed shall drown," she thundered, her hand raised as the water swallowed the invaders. The traveler screamed as the river dragged him under, his voice silenced by the rushing waters. When the waters calmed, only silence remained, broken by the villagers' trembling prayers of thanks. The young woman collapsed, the shell glowing brighter than ever, as if sealing her fate as Mammy Wata's vessel. The villagers carried her into her hut, laying her gently on a mat, whispering prayers for her recovery. Her grandmother sprinkled blessed water on her forehead, chanting words passed down from generations. The shell pulsed with light, glowing so bright it filled the hut, casting shadows that danced like spirits. Her body trembled as her spirit drifted into the river once more, carried by unseen waves. In the deep, Mammy Wata awaited, surrounded by creatures of the water, serpents, fish, and beings neither man nor beast. "You have proven worthy," the spirit said, her voice both soothing and terrifying, to bear the secret gift. The spirit touched her heart, and suddenly she heard thousands of whispers, spirits of ancestors, rivers, and winds. She realized the gift was not riches, but the power to hear and speak for the unseen world. But with the gift came a vow: she would never fully belong to the world of mortals again. She wept, longing for her people, yet knowing destiny had bound her to a greater path. When she awoke, her eyes shone brighter, and the villagers gasped. They knew she was no longer just one of them. Her grandmother embraced her, whispering, "Child, you are chosen, but you will never walk alone." From that day, the river never ran dry, crops grew bountiful, and the village thrived in peace. But whenever the wind carried strange whispers, they knew their protector was listening, standing between worlds. Travelers came, but none dared to touch the river again, for they feared the unseen forces guarding it. Travelers came, but none dared to touch the river again, for they feared the unseen forces guarding it. Children would gather around her, asking her to tell the stories the spirits whispered into her ears. Sometimes, when the moon was full, songs drifted from the river, songs no mortal throat could sing. The villagers believed those songs were the spirits' reminder that the young woman was forever bound to her. And so the tale lived on. When spirits whisper, not all can hear, but those chosen carry both blessing and burden forever.